Hey, this is Bryce Curry, and I'm going to do something that I've really never done before, but I'm just kind of wound up on this thing. So I'm going to do a cut from a radio show that I listened to the other night. The radio show comes from Mark Levine. Now, Mark Levine is a radio personality. He has the Mark Levine Show. And I know that it's another form of news, and we have our regular news, we have our network news, we have uh, the mainstream media that we call them, and we have our radio talk show host and all of this stuff. But the point is that something just caught my attention so much the other night that it just really almost brought me to tears over what this dealt with. And it was a person that came on the Mark Levine show, and her name was Sandra. And she talked about what was going on here in America. And I'm going to tell you that this just really got me so much that that's why I'm doing this, because I think that the people that don't listen to conservative radio might happen to maybe catch this and might listen to this, and maybe, just maybe, this might make you turn your head just a little bit because this comes from another human being. Now, with that said, here, let's go ahead, roll the podcast from Mark Levine, and let's listen to what Sandra has to say about America.
Satellite, Sandra, you're on. Go right ahead, please.
Hello?
Yes, Sandra, that would be you. Go right ahead, please.
Okay, Mark. I have the utmost respect for you.
Yes.
And Mark, I want to say something. And I think if you break things down, if we know we always go towards step one, 2, and 3. But there's a step 0 that I feel like we're missing. I feel like the American people, Mark, are missing the fact. I'm going to give you an example. I'm from a family of 8 children with 4 different fathers, Mark. 4. And if you can imagine what it takes for all of us to love each other, to get along, we are from 4 different fathers. We are close as you can believe we are. Because we went back, we didn't splinter off to this name and that name. We didn't split off to 4 different families. We stayed with the love and the acknowledgement of the one person that brought us together, which would have been, in my eyes, my mother, then my grandmother. And this country they don't understand that if they go back, we are the country. It doesn't matter what we call ourselves, Asian, black, or whatever. And I'm from a mixed family. But we all came back, and somehow or another, we can't reach these people to understand that you're American, and that's all you are. And you gotta get behind your president. This is your president. This is your country. This is a country we all have to, no matter what it is. We got to bind together, just like my family did. Mark, I've got the most wonderful family in the world, and I'm from 4 different fathers. And that's what's missing in our country. Why can't people say and think? I went to the police appreciation in Houston, Texas, and they were, whoever they were, just I hate this, I hate them, I hate America, I hate Trump. How can you have the nerve? How do you have the nerve to say you hate this country? How do you have the nerve? That's like saying you hate your family. That's like saying you hate God. And the problem is, Mark, so many people do. They hate their families. Nobody said their families were perfect. Nobody said we were perfect. But we are the best. We are the only hope. We are the only hope. What do we got to do for these people to understand that we are the only hope? There is no other way. Why aren't people going to Chicago? Where's Oprah? Where's all these athletes? Where was Oprah? Where were these people? When I watched the president and he spoke on, I can't remember what State of the Union, whatever, and I watched the Democrats just sit there while he poured his heart out. And they don't understand that man doesn't have to do this. He did this because of the love for the country. Get over his personality. It's not about his personality. Look what he's done. He wants us to be America. And anybody that doesn't understand that, how do you not understand that? If we're not going to be America, if we're not going to live up to our Constitution, who are we going to be? Mark, who are we going to be? You know, I don't understand. My father spent his life in the Air Force and the Army. I was born on Offutt Air Force Base. And my family have been through up and down. So the government has been there for my mother. My mother has received welfare. Every single one of my brothers and sisters, none of us has been to jail. None of us have done drugs because we had a love for and a respect for the name of my family. For my
Let me say this, just because we're running out of time. You're a remarkable lady, and you've got remarkable siblings, and a really remarkable family. That through thick and thin, you all stood together, and you all know you shared a mother. Some of you shared a father. And statistically, the way it would work typically is you wouldn't know each other, and it'd be all busted up. And yet, so this is remarkable. And I think the message you're leaving here is very, very important. It is very, very important. And this country is like a family. And you know, Sandra, I talk about the foxholes. We've had men fight around the world, and they're in a foxhole. It didn't matter if the man next to them was white or black or Asian or Hispanic or gay or something. Nobody cared. We have a common purpose and a common enemy. But we've had decade after decade after decade of a political party and an ideology that has tried to destroy this country, that has followed a different way, that has embraced an alien ideology. And it's Marxism. Progressivism is an offshoot of Marxism. It's statism. And you can hear the vile poison, the cancerous type of politics when you hear Nancy Pelosi today calling the China virus the Trump virus. Other things that have come out of her mouth, and Chuck Schumer constantly scheming to undermine our Constitution and our country. And you see now a new form of media. It was always bad, but never this bad, where these people in the media, while they use the Constitution, they abuse it. They have no intention of being serious and real reporters. They have as their goal the destruction of the President of the United States. You see what the prior administration did, how they tried to prevent Donald Trump from getting elected with spies sent from the FBI, with lies to a federal court by the FBI, with leaks to Democrat Party news operatives from the FBI, and then a coup attempt, the number 2 at the FBI, talking about the 25th Amendment, and then a criminalization, an investigation that should never have taken place, an impeachment that was unconstitutional, where Nancy Pelosi violated the historic rules and traditions of the House of Representatives. You have all of that, and then you have the effort to blame the president for a virus, in which I think he's done an exquisite job, quite frankly. And now you have riots in the street, and he's trying to figure out how to put them down with as little violence as possible, and he's being called today a dictator, an authoritarian, while the people in the street who are killing and abusing and looting and starting fires and attacking the cops, they're the ones who are celebrated. The bottom line, Sandra, is we're losing our country. And if the American people don't rally in this election, if there's not enough of us left who love this place, who want to see this civil society, who are smart enough to put aside the media and the static and understand exactly what's taking place here, that this is between us, those of us who really do embrace our system, and them, those who want to destroy it. If that doesn't come across during the election, and the president and the RNC, it's not up to them, it's up to us. We are citizens. Then we're going to lose everything. We're going to lose everything. I want to thank you, Sandra, and God bless you, and we'll be right back.